Alright, fellow hunters, it's time to look at the second episode of the day, which is Monster Movie. Dean and Sam were driving into Pennsylvania to investigate a vampire murder, but Sam was somewhat distracted by the upcoming end of the world. Dean, however, is happy to be working an old-school black-and-white monster case like they used to. The brothers found themselves at Oktoberfest in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. After buying pretzels and admiring the local women, they spot Sheriff Dietrich and approach him, posing as FBI agents Angus and Young. He takes them to the morgue and shows them the murder victim, Mercer Wright, who was notably not the mangled mess they have become accustomed to seeing as a vampire victim, only sustained two perfectly circular puncture wounds on her neck. He then directs them to the witness, Ed Brewer, but warns that he isn't reliable. They go to the Bavarian Beer House Tavern to find Ed and talk to the waitress Jamie, who directs them to Ed. They find him gulping from a gigantic stein of beer and ask him for details, but he's reluctant to talk anymore because he's already been made a laughingstock. He finally explains that he was walking through the park when he spotted what he initially thought was a couple kissing, until the woman started struggling. Ed's description of the man is a perfect match to the movie version of Dracula, complete with Transylvanian accent, which he demonstrates for them. Jamie talks with another waitress, Lucy, who dabs lipstick on a napkin and moves off. Dean and Sam go back to the bar and Sam notices the napkin. Dean figures that the vampire is an imposter who just wants to hang out at Oktoberfest. He asks Jamie for a date and then informs Sam he's come back from hell completely restored and wants to get rid of his restored virginity. Sam goes back to the hotel and Dean tells Jamie that the case is weird enough for them to stick around. The couple are making out on Lover's Lane while a wolf howls in the distance. A wolf-like man approaches the car, then rips the man out of the car as the girl, Anne-Marie, screams. The next day, Sam and Dean talk to Anne-Marie and confirm that she saw a classic movie werewolf kill boyfriend Rick Deacon, complete with furry face, black nose, claws, and torn-up clothes. They go to the morgue and examine Rick's body, concluding that the murderer was supernatural. However, the killer did remove the heart, indicating it's not a werewolf like the ones they fought. Dietrich reveals that they found wolf hairs on the body. They head back to the bar and discuss the fact that werewolves don't have actual wolf hair. Jamie goes over and agrees to a date with Dean that night. At the Canonsburg Museum of Natural History, a security guard discovers that an Egyptian sarcophagus just appeared on the dock. As he calls for confirmation, a mummy emerges from the sarcophagus. The guard's gun proves useless and the mummy strangles him. The brothers go to the museum after the police secure the scene and discover the sarcophagus is from a prop house and the mummy used dry ice for its smoke. Dean leaves Sam to check it out and goes to meet Jamie. Jamie is waiting for Dean and takes off when he doesn't show. She walks down the street, only to find Dracula behind her. He corners her in a dead-end alley and refers to her as the reincarnation of his beloved, Mina. She sprays some pepper spray and runs past him and into Dean. Dean, unimpressed, punches Dracula, but the vampire quickly overwhelms him. The vampire calls Dean Harker, but Dean yanks on his ears and rips one off, and yanks off his medallion. Dracula runs away and Dean goes after him. The vampire climbs over a locked gate and drives away on a scooter. Back at the bar, Dean shows Sam the ear and tells him to touch it. It's the skin of a shapeshifter. Dean also shows him the medallion, which belongs to the same prop house as the fake sarcophagus. Sam figures that the shapeshifter is reenacting horror movies and recognizes names Mina and Harker as characters from the novel Dracula. It must be fixated on Jamie, meaning he's been around her. Jamie doesn't recognize anybody who might be acting strange, but does know that Ed moved in a month ago and her friend Lucy claims he has a crush on her. He works as a projectionist at the old movie theater in town. Sam goes to investigate while Dean explains to Jamie about the real monsters that roam the world. She figures out he's not really FBI and figures that his life must suck given all the responsibility involved. Dean admits it used to weigh on him until he had a near-death experience. He admits that things are different and he saves people, and it's his mission from God. She checks to see if that means he's celibate, and he admits it doesn't. They kiss by the road when Lucy comes in to get a bottle. She wishes him well, but Jamie invites her to stay for a drink. Sam approaches the theater and finds Ed playing what looks and sounds like pipe organ in his shadow. Sam goes behind the curtain to take care of him and finds him playing a small portable keyboard set upon a big desk in his underwear. He seeks up and aims his gun at him, declaring that he knows what he is, He knows what he's been doing. He yanks on terrified Ed's ear, only to discover that it's real. At the bar, Lucy taps her lipstick on a napkin and talks to Dean and Jamie, who start to pass out. Realizing that she's drugged them, Dean punches Lucy, dislocating her jaw and revealing that she is the shapeshifter. Jamie collapses and Dean breaks a bottle and tries to hold Lucy off but faints. He wakes up, clad in lederhosen and bound to a metal contraption, in a basement laboratory that Lucy has set up. The shapeshifter is in his Dracula form and reveals that Lucy was an actress from a horror movie. The shapeshifter believes he's Dracula and all the other characters, preferring them to real life. Dean points out that every monster movie ends with the hero winning and the monster dying, but Dracula is confident he'll write the ending. He slowly prepares to execute Dean, thinking he's Jonathan Harker, but the doorbell rings. The shapeshifter goes to answer the door and finds a puzzled pizza delivery boy. As he pays for the pizza, getting a discount with a coupon, Sam returns to the bar and finds a napkin and realizes that Lucy is the shapeshifter. Jamie wakes up to find Dracula waiting for her. Still thinking she's mean up, he asks her to put on the gown he's provided an officer pizza. She resists, but he finally snaps and orders her to put it on. Meanwhile, Sam arrives at Lucy's house and slips in. The shapeshifter apologizes for scaring Jamie, who tries to convince him he can make the movies real. He knows he spent his life being called a monster and his father tried to beat him to death. He finally found the great monsters of the movies and has taken on their strength by assuming their form. The shapeshifter hears something and Jamie calls out for Dean. He knocks her out while Sam finds Dean and frees him, and they break through a fake door to make their escape. They find Jamie, but the shapeshifter throws Sam through a wall, calling him Van Helsing, and beats back Dean. Dean knees him in the groin and tries to go for the gun loaded with several bullets. The shapeshifter throws him back, but Jamie grabs the gun and shoots him. As he dies, the shapeshifter admits that perhaps this is how the movie should end. The next day, Dean and Jamie kiss as the brothers prepare to leave town. She thanks them for saving her life, and Sam admits it's good to be back on the job of simple monster hunting. He says he wishes life would be more like a movie, and Sam figures the movie Dean would like life to be as Porky's too. Dean dismisses it as a lucky guess. So anyway, let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. When Sam and Dean are driving to town at the beginning of the episode, the word Pennsylvania on the sign changes to Transylvania briefly when the lightning flashes. The names Sam and Dean use are Angus and Young. Angus Young is a member of the band AC/DC. Sheriff Dietrich mentions The Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. This is the third time the series has been referred to this author. The name Talbot, in reference to Bella's last name, is also important in Rice's Vampire Chronicles, as David Talbot is a major character who even narrates one of the chronicles, Merrick. In the episode Malleus Maleficarium, when Dean called 911, he said that the witch is in the Circle of Mayfair. The Mayfair Witch is being another book series by the same author. The episode is composed in black and white, similar to old-fashioned movies. The X-Files of Bram Stoker's classic Dracula are referenced in this episode. Lucy, one of the monster's identities, is also a character from Dracula. In the original story, Lucy was Mina's best friend before being turned into a vampire by Count Dracula. In the episode, the shapeshifter turns itself into Dracula, the werewolf, and the mummy to kill its victims. At the bar with Sam and Jamie, after his encounter with the creature in Dracula's skin, Dean mentions the creature from the Black Lagoon, also known as the Gill Man, as some of the possible future movie monster creatures the shapeshifter will mimic. All these creatures appeared in Stephen King's famous novel It, as alternative natures of the villain's main personality, Pennywise the dancing clown, a demonic and ageless entity who used to kill children and feed on them. Perhaps Dean is indirectly making reference towards this book. When the shapeshifter is shot by Jamie, states, "Was beauty that killed the beast." This is a reference to a line spoken near the end of the 1933 film King Kong, another classic monster movie. Dean's line saying he's on a mission from God is a reference to the Blues Brothers. After talking about regaining his virginity, Dean mentions that the dude does not abide, which references the cult movie The Big Lebowski. The source revealed it's one of Jared Padalecki's favorite episodes. He said that it's because it has some classic movie monsters. It's filmed in black and white, and you get to see Jensen Ackles and Lederhosen. That's very true. So yeah. So overall, this is definitely one of my favorite episodes from season 4, and it's just a blast, and I love it. So yeah. So overall, I give Monster Movie 5 Impalas out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in as we tackle the final episode of the day, Yellow Fever. So until then, carry on, my wayward sons and daughters.